Hello guys and welcome to Laravel 7 tutorials. So guys, in the previous video we successfully created the model for categories and then we successfully implemented the folder structure of our model that is related to categories. Okay guys, so after that we created a model migration and controller for our categories. And in this video we are going to create a create functionality for our categories right here. Okay, so guys, in the introductory video I told you that our blogging system is going to be a URL friendly and it is going to be a SEO friendly website. Okay, so there is a minor change and let me just show you with an example. Let's move to, first of all let me show you in the database and I will move to blogging. Remember that this blog related database is related to the videos that are in Hindi or Urdu lectures. Okay, so let's move to blogging and right here we have our categories table. So I'm going to create one more column right here with the name of slug. Why? Let me show you with an example. Let's say guys, let's say this is the root of our application. After that, let's say we want to fetch any sort of category and there are two ways, one with the help of name and one with the help of ID. So if let's say if we want to fetch the category that has an ID of 1, we are going to do simply like that. Okay, and let's say we want to fetch the second category, we will do this, and for third, for fourth, like this and so on. Okay, and the other way is get the category with the help of name. Let's say the category name is, let's say just for an example, this is a category. Okay guys, so just remember that the ID related like this, ID related URL are not SEO friendly. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to get the categories with the help of name like this. This is a category. Okay, but once again, these type of URL, when you have space in the name, like if you have spaces in the word sentence, this is not good related to SEO. Why? Because Google is going to put some slashes or plus sign in between these spaces, like a space. Okay, right here let me show you. Let's say like this or like this. Okay, so this is not good at all. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a slug column, and let's say if we have a category name right here like this, what we are going to do with the help of slug is we are going to put a hyphen in place of each space right here like this. Let me show you, just like this. So this is what we can say is a URL friendly. So this is what we are going to implement right now, and let's create the column inside our categories table. Okay, so for that I will move to git bash, and this is the last table that we this is the last migration basically we implemented in the last video. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to revert it because we don't have any sort of data in it, so we can simply roll it back. So PHP artisan migrate roll back minus tab is equal to 1. Okay, so this is going to roll back the categories migration. Let me just show you with the refresh, and you are not going to see anything right here. Okay, so let's make some changes, and I will move to Sublime database migration categories, and I'm going to create a column right here, $table string. It is going to character type would be varchar. The string is equals to varchar. Okay, slug, and it should be of 255 character max. Okay, if you want to limit your character to 50, 100, you are going to define it right here. Okay, so this is the only change, and now what I am going to do, I'm going to migrate it once again. Okay guys, so categories table is migrated once again. I am going to refresh. Right here you can see our slug column is right here. Okay guys, so the next task is to create a category with the help of Ajax. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, and I will close this database migration. Okay, so let's move to resources, views, backend, partials, and first let's correct this category, the modal basically. So I'm going to change it, this comment to create category. That's it. and I don't want this header comment, and I don't want this body comment, and I don't want this footer comment. Nice and simple. Okay, so guys, now I'm going to assign because we are going to submit this form using Ajax, so I'm not going to pass any action or method etc. right here. We are going to do that with the help of Ajax. What I'm going to do, I'm going to assign it ID so that we can get this form with the help of ID and pass it to the controller. Okay, so let's say ID would be add category. That's it. Okay, because we are using add category modal right here, so we can't have same ID for two elements, two form elements or two HTML elements. Okay, so it should be different right here, add category. Okay, so that's it. And now let's move to categories split right here. Okay guys, so for now I'm going to type my JavaScript jQuery right here, and once we successfully complete our create operation, we are going to move it to a separate JS file. Okay, so let's start it right here. Script, and it should be, let's say, first I'm going to write it and then I am going to define it what we are doing. Document, sorry, spelling mistake, dot ready function. Okay, and let's see if it is working fine or not. So for that I will move to right here and alert done, just for the testing purpose. Okay, so for that we need to start a project, PHP artisan serve. Okay, it is up and running. Let's move and access our project, and I think I need to log in. Yes, all about Laravel, password is 1234 1234. Okay, my very secret password. Okay, let's move to category. Okay, so you can see we are not going to see anything right here. Why? Because this JavaScript is related to only categories page. Okay, so this is the reason we implement certain section, so that we can have different type of code on each page. So when this page is ready, this alert is going to alert done. Why? So let's discuss what this document ready function means. Document ready functions means that once the page is ready, just alert me this message, whatever it is. Okay, see, when the page is completely loaded, like with the CSS and JavaScript, this is going to alert. Put an alert right here. So this is what we are doing right now. Okay, so let's open our modal. Okay, now guys, as you know that I just defined the ID for my form right here, so I am going to look for this ID, add category now. Okay, once the document is ready, do this. Do what? Do this. Let me show you. Add category dot submit function. Okay, nice and shiny. Okay, now let's move right here to category modal and let's check if we have our submit button right here. Okay, so guys, right here we are checking if this type of ID is submitted. This ID is related to this form. So in here we are just checking if this form is submitted or not. If it is submitted, do this, whatever we are going to define right here. Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to define an event right here, event, and let's say event dot prevent default. Okay, that's it. So this prevent default behavior is going to do, let's say if we click this link, sometimes you are going to see a scroll right here in some conditions. Okay, so this is going to prevent this behavior. Okay, sometimes we click a button or link, the page you will see a page is scrolling up and down, something like that. Okay, so we are restricting that default behavior right here. Okay, now let's get the form, and for that I'm going to create a variable var form is equals to, and I want this specific form which has ID add category right here, this one, and I want the 0, the first one. Basically 0 is equal to index. Okay, so let's say if we have multiple forms with the same ID, we are just making sure that we get the first form that has an ID, this one, okay, that has add category ID, and I want the first let's say first index data, etc. Okay, so if you know programming and if you know how to loop, etc., so the loop count start from 0. Okay, so this is what we are doing. We are checking and getting this type of form, and which is placed on the 0 index. Okay, just to make sure that we have only one form. Okay, now I'm going to create an object var. Once again I'm creating a variable var form data is equals to new form data. Okay, and I'm going to pass the form right here. So why are we doing this line? Let's discuss. Okay, let's say guys, if you have input type file, let's say for an image. Okay, so if you have an input type of file, you are not going, if you are using Ajax, you are not going to be able to pass the image with the form using Ajax. Okay, so this is the issue, a small issue with Ajax, that if you have an image in your form, you are not going to pass it until you make a new object from form data. So what this form data is going to do, it is going to pass the whole form as it is. So let's say if you have input type of file right here as well, you will be able to pass that file as well. Okay, so you will not encounter any sort of issue. And if you are not using this new object, sometimes you will be unable to pass the image with the form. So I'm just making sure that we use this because in this case we don't have any sort of image, but still I want to do it like this. Okay, so just be sure that we are sending each and everything. Okay, so now we have our form in this form data variable. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass an Ajax request. Yeah, $Ajax, and the URL would be, first let's define the URL is base URL, the one we created in the previous video. If you don't remember, I will show you. And I want to hit add category. Okay, so let's say if you are confused, let me just show you. Layout master, guys, right here we implemented the base URL, the root URL in this case, because if you are going to move from local environment to live environment, your base URL would be changed. In this place you are not going to have a local host, but you will have a domain name, etc. So we are just making sure, and we are leaving it on the application to get the root URL, whatever it is, and after that pass the specific request or with the help of link. Let me show you on the web.php as well. Okay guys, every time we define a URL, we are passing a slash. This means after root, hit the dashboard link. After root, hit sorry, not the link, URL. After root or localhost, hit the categories right here. Okay, so this is what we are doing. We are passing the root, whatever it is, right here in the base URL. Okay, so base URL means in this case localhost. If you are in the live environment, it will mean that a domain or something like that. Okay, so let's move forward. And one mistake, simple mistake, we are not going to use a semicolon. Okay, if you are using Ajax. Okay, so type would be get or post. So in this case I'm just going to type post. Okay, and data. Once we are using Ajax, we need to specify which data we are passing. Okay, so in this case we are passing form data, this one. Okay, and after that, if you don't apply this, the change I'm doing right here, you may encounter some error or your Ajax will not work because of this, because once I was trying to implement Ajax, maybe my first or second time, and I found that this is really necessary to do it like this. Content type is equals to false. Okay, so Ajax can do its work. Process, not like that, process data false. That's it, and we are done. Okay, so content type, make sure content type is false and process data is false. Okay, so after that we have successfully implemented our Ajax request. Now is the time for success function. Success function, and let's say if we have success in this URL and everything is working fine, we are going to receive something from the controller right here, and that will be saved in this data. Let's move it down. Sorry, not like that. Yeah. Okay, so guys, our work right here is completed for now for the success related function. Okay, let's move to web.php and create this URL or route, because we don't have one right here. Okay, so let's create it. Route get add category. See, we don't need to define base URL etc. We are just going to define a slash, because this means the URL or root. Okay, category controller @create. Okay, so whenever we are going to hit this add category, we are going to hit a method create that is inside the category controller. So we don't have this method. Let's create one. I will move to category controller. Okay, and let's put a comment right here. Let's use this one, return view, category view. Okay, let's create another function, create category. So whenever someone is going to see your code, he will be able to understand that what you are doing in this specific lines or function. Okay, public function, and let's say method would be create, and we are going to use the object request so that we can get whatever it is, whatever we have inside the request, $request. This is all from the basic Laravel tutorial. If you don't remember it, just revise it once again. That's it. Okay, all basic stuff. Now let's see if we are getting anything from right there to here. dd $request all. I want each and everything that is inside the request. Okay, so let's refresh, and I think I don't made any mistake, so I will just open inspect and let's check for the network, because we are going to see Ajax related data right here. Let's create one category. Let's say programming, create. Okay, so 405, there is some sort of error. The post method is not supported for this route. I think I messed up with the route right here. See, so this is how you are going to get the error, and you have to specify that, okay, so we are making some mistake right here. Okay, so let's refresh once again, guys. No problem. Programming, create. Okay, now we have 419 error, CSRF token mismatch, because we didn't pass any CSRF token. This is the basic mistakes. Okay, so that's what I told you, that I'm going to figure out the errors and debug or troubleshoot the errors in front of you, so you know what you have to do when you find any specific error. Okay, categories, programming, create. Okay, now we are successfully inside our controller right here, you can see. Okay, so we have a category name programming, and we are receiving it on the controller. Okay guys, so we are successfully receiving our data right here. Now is the time to implement the validation, so let's do that. Okay, $request validate, sorry, and let's say category name would be required. Sorry guys, min 3 max 5, no 255, sorry, my bad. Okay, that's it. and after that yeah, we are going to create a slug from this name right here. I just showed you in the example with the help of example. So for that I need to import a class use illuminate support and then string str. Okay, after that let's create a slug. $slug is equals to str. str is a class and we have a method called slug, str slug, and we are going to create a slug from this category name with the help of request. $request category name right here. Okay, so once it is created, let's dd and see what we have in the slug. dd $slug diantum dd means. Okay, let's refresh and I'm going to put a specific name with some spaces etc. Let's say this is a category name, so you can see the difference. See, I'm putting right here with the help of spaces. Let's create this and let's see the output, and right here you can see it is all in lowercase this and with the space replaced with the help with the hyphen. This is a category name, so our slug is working perfectly fine. Okay guys, so next task is let's create the data in the database. That's it. Okay, so if you don't want to create a variable, we simply don't need to, we can simply do it like create category, but in my case I'm going to create one. Okay, category is equals to category create, and we are going to use ORM, object relationship mapping. Okay, so right here let's say I want to insert in the column, this is the column name that is inside the database right here, name. Okay, and I'm going to put everything I have in the $request request category name right here, and after that I want to put the slug in the slug column, $slug. I have the slug right here in this variable. Okay, so I'm just going to put it right there. That's it, and I think that's it from this one, and we are going to simply return, not like that, return success. If you don't want to return anything from right here, we can simply remove this, but in my case, let's say in any case, if you want to implement some specific logic based on this word success or whatever it is, so you can do that. So in my case I'm going to keep it right here just like that. Okay, so now guys, since we are using ORM, so we need to define these properties as fillable properties in the database, and for that I will move to app and category.php inside the model, and I'm going to use the predefined fillable property protected $fillable, and I want these properties to be fillable, name and slug. That's it. Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay guys, so now we will be able to create our categories. Let's refresh and start from the beginning. Let's say I want to create a category with the name programming. Let's create this. Okay, we have some sort of error. Let's see. Oh yeah, silly mistake guys, since we are using category and we are not defining category class right here. Use app category, don't forget that. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, let's refresh once again. Add categories, programming, create, and it status 200 means success right here, success. And let's move to database and refresh, and right here you can see we successfully created a category right here. Okay guys, so now is the time to see the error, and for that let's say I'm going to refresh, because if we have any sort of error with the help with this validation, we are not going, we will not be able to proceed any further. Okay, let me just show you. Create, and right here you can see status 222, and this means we have an error, and the error is right here, error message, the category name field is required. Okay, so guys, let's do this and let's fix this so we can see our error right here. Okay, let's do that. So our work right here is completed, so I'm just going to close this category controller and this one as well. Okay, let's close this master as well right here. So guys, in here now, this is for the success function if we don't have any sort of issue. So yeah, let's first implement the sweet alert, so we are done with this success function right here. Okay, so I will move to Google and I will type sweet alert 2 and I will move to first link right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this sweet alert. Okay, so in my case, most of the time I don't have internet, so I'm not going to use this HTTP CDN. Okay, so in your case maybe you can use it, but in my case I'm not going to use it because most of the time I don't have internet and I want this file to be with me in the project at any time. Okay, so I don't need internet for this file. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create this file. Let's go to, and I'm going to copy each and everything from right here. You don't need to do this. What you can simply do, you can simply just copy the script and paste it in your master layout. So let's move to master layout once again, resources, backend, master, and first of all I need to create it, so I will move to public, backend, and JS right here. So I'm going to create a new file inside JS, new file, paste the code, save the file with the name sweet alert 2.js. so I have this file all the time. Okay, that's it. Now I'm going to call this file right here. Okay, I'm just going to copy the script. All you have to do is just copy the script from right there and paste it right here. We are pasting the script in the master layout because we are going to use sweet alert on almost every page. Okay, almost, not all. Okay guys, so let's just change the name to sweet alert 2. Okay, now let me just first show you what this sweet alert is. In this video in the starting section, yeah, I showed you the simple alert with the help of jQuery. It was something like that. See, done message was right here. Okay, so what this sweet alert is going to do for you is something like this. Okay, so this seems and this looks good, very good. I know you will like it, and you are like, it is an open source, so you can use it in any of your project. Okay, and thank me later. Okay guys, so let's try this. See, for the error, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy it from right here. Since we successfully implemented the JS, so all I have to do is just pass the swell fire right here. Okay, and let's align this, and I'm going to put some changes, success. Okay, and instead of oops, I want success, and the text message should be category, not like that, created successfully. Okay, and I don't want the footer link. If you want to, you can have it. That's it. Now guys, let's create another category and let's see what we have. Okay, once the category is created from right here from the controller, once the category is created, we are going to receive a success, and when we have a success, we are automatically going to pass or hit this swell file. That's it, as simple as that. Let's create a category, and this time let's say it will be related to health. Let's say create, and now you can see something happening. Success category created successfully. Okay, so now let's close this category modal on success as well. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do is, let's use this with the help of ID add category modal. Since it is a modal, so we are going to use a modal function, and let's say hide. That's it, as simple as that. Let's refresh and let's create another category, and let's say sports. Done. Now you can see something happening. Okay guys, okay, so I hope you guys like this. Okay, so let's move forward, and it's time to see some error, so that we can see some sort of errors right here, because let's say if we don't put anything right there, we are going to receive an error. Create right here, you can see status 422. So let's get these error on this model. For that, I'm going to create another function that is related to error function, and this is going to be as reject, because something got rejected. Okay guys, okay, so now what we are going to do, let me just show you some status once again, because I'm going to implement the logic based on this status. Okay, let's create this one right here. This one is equals to 422. So guys, we are going to implement our logic based on this one. Okay, and once we complete our logic, I will define it once, describe it once again. Okay, so let's do that. If reject, not like that, reject dot status equals to 422, basically it is going to check if it has the same data type and the same characters, etc. Okay, so this one looks good. And after that, if we have a reject status equals to 422, so what we are going to do, let's create a variable with errors. Okay, and we are going to get all the error that we receive from the Laravel parse JSON. Okay, and let's get the text reject response text. Okay, so guys, by response text I mean is this one. This is the text. Okay, this is the text that is related to reject response. Okay, so we are getting all these errors in this errors variable. After that, let's say if we have multiple fields like this, category name, category age, etc, etc. So for that, and for, let's say if we have multiple fields, so we will not be able to see every field related error just below it. Why? Because for that we need to for loop, or we are going to use a loop. So in this case, I'm going to give you a complete solution, and I'm going to do it with the help of for each solution. So how are we going to do a for each in jQuery? Let me just show you. $.each, and we are going to see errors, the one we created right here. See, we have all the errors right here in this variable. After that, I want errors because it is still inside some error variables. Okay, after that we need to define function with key and value. Basically in this case we want the key and value. Let me just show you the key and value right here in this form. See, if I open this error, you can see the errors variable right here. If I open this right here, you can see category name, this is the key, and this is the value right here. Okay, so this is what I mean right here. Okay guys, after that what I'm going to do is, let's put some invalid class on our field. So for that I will just do, let's define it like this, and key, I just told you that right here key is equal to this category name, whatever it is. In this case this field name is category name, so we are receiving it as a category name. If you have a field with name, you are going to get a key with the name. Okay, that's it, as simple as that. Okay guys, so after that let's add a class, add class, and it is going to be is invalid. Okay, that's it. After that let's do something else as well, because we want the error message as well. Okay, so for that I will do concatenate key with underscore help. Okay, that's it. And let's add text value. Now this value guys is equals to this one. Okay, I'm getting the message and I'm going to put it, I'm going to get the first error message and I'm going to put it right here in this field. I will define it once again. Describe, sorry guys. Okay, so guys, our error message is completed, but to see an error we need to create this type of ID. Let me just show you create model. Okay, so for error I'm going to create a small element, small, and class would be, let's say, class text minus danger. That's it. And the ID, because we are going to put the error message in this small element with the help of ID that I just created right there. Okay, so ID would be category name underscore help, or you can say errors. Okay, but in this case right here I have an error. Okay, so let's discuss this error once again. So guys, we are checking if we have a reject status of 422. If we have this sort of error, we are getting all the validation error that we are getting from the Laravel, and we are saving it in our errors variable right here. We need to parse this as a JSON because it does not understand any sort of language like reject. If you are just going to do a reject response text, you are not going to get anything. So you need to pass a parse JSON, and after that you need to pass the text that you want. Okay, so once we got all the error, what I'm going to do, I am looping through the errors. I have these error variables right here. This error variables has another errors variable inside it, and I'm going to loop it with the help of this. Okay, and then we are going to get the key and the value from these error, and in this case key is equals to the field name that you have right here, category name, and the value is right here, the error message itself. Okay, after that what I'm going to do, or what I'm doing right here, is I am defining that whatever the key is, in this case it is category name. Okay, so what I'm doing with the help of jQuery is I'm saying that find, let's make it clear, hash is representing the ID, so we are looking for the ID that has this name, whatever the key has. In this case it is right here, ID category name. Okay, so we are getting this, and we are assigning and adding a class to this ID right here. Okay, so what it is going to do, it is going to find this element with this key, in this case the category name, and we are adding the class is invalid. Okay, so we will be able to see another class right here when we look it in the browser. Okay, if we have any sort of error. After that what I did is, let's say I want to see the errors as well, what the error message is specifically. Okay, so for that what I did is I did hash concatenate, same here, same just right here, we concatenated with the key that we have, field name. Okay, so hash category name underscore help, find this. Let's say to make it simple, I'm saying it find it. It is not going to find it, it is just going to place it. Okay, so for simplicity I'm just saying find again and again. Okay, so we are looking for the key with the hash that has similar to hash category name underscore help, that is right here. See, this is the ID, this ID represent the hash. So we are looking for the category underscore name underscore help, and we are putting our text right here, the error message. Okay, so now let's try this in the browser and let's see what we have. Let's refresh. Okay, add category, and let's say we don't put anything, and let's create it. Right here you can see the magic happening. Okay, so let me just show you with the help of elements as well. Now we found the ID with category name, hash ID right here. See, category name, I also showed you right here, category name. Okay, so and we are applying, if this field has an error, we are simply assigning a class is invalid right here. And to see the message, what we did is we simply got this ID category name underscore help, and we placed our text right here. Okay guys, so that's it. Now we are able to see our error. Let's change this error, and I am going to put 1, and let's create it once again. Now you can see the error is changed. The category name must be at least 3 characters. Okay, so now the issue is, let me just show you. Let's say I close the modal and now I open it once again. We are still able to see these errors. And let's say if I'm going to create an category, let's just test it. Test, create. Okay, so the category is created. Let's say I want to add another category, and still we are able to see the text right here that we inputted the last time. So guys, this is what we need to fix, because if you are using Ajax, you need to do like cleaning a lot of stuff that is happening right here. Okay, so this is what we are going to do right now. And let me just show you, let me just tell you that if you have multiple fields like this, category name, category age, and let's say if you have an error with one field, and let's say next time you want to submit, you have an error with the other field, so we are also going to fix this issue for that type of cases as well. So this is going to be a complete solution for you guys. Okay, so guys, next task is let's just discuss this first case. Okay, I'm just going to refresh, create, let's say technology, create, successfully created. Now I want to create another category, and we are still able to see this. Okay, so let's remove this first. On success, remove everything from every field. Okay, let's do that. Okay, I'm just going to look for the closing tag. Yeah, okay, that's it. Now I'm going to create a function. This is a function in jQuery or JavaScript, you can say. Okay, on success, remove error, let's say remove errors. Okay, and for that what we want to do is, let's say I want to clean this field, category underscore name dot remove class is invalid. That's it. Okay, I'm just going to copy it, and I want to do it right here as well. Category name, I want to remove the value. Yeah, let's remove this everything. Well equals to empty string, and let's remove the error as well. Category underscore name underscore help dot text empty. That's it. Okay guys, so let me just show you this case first. Let's say we have some type of something written right here. Let me just remove it, and let me type create. You can see the error. Close, open it again, and we can still see this error. So this is what it is going to do. It is going to clean up all the fields. Once the method once we are successfully creating our category, we are going to move it right here, and we are going to place this method right here, so that we can clean all these fields. Remove the class invalid, and category name value should be empty, category name help text should be empty. Let's do this and define it right here once the modal is closed. Okay guys, let's refresh, create, and let's say boom is the category name, create, category created successfully, add category, and now you can see we have a fresh form every time we open it up. Let's say create category, we have an error. I'm just going to close it, add category, and we are still having it. So we need to remove it. Let's see, where are we getting this error from? Oh yeah, because the model was closed. Okay, so this is another case. See, we have an error. Okay, this is not based on the success function. Okay guys, so we are going to do that, handle that as well. Okay, so next function would be remove errors every time we got new error. Get new error, remove errors. Okay, nice and simple. And in this case we just need these two fields. Okay guys, all you have to do is just implement this, and this is going to solve a lot of problem for you. Okay, so right here what we are doing, I will define it to you once again, describe. Let's discuss this one as well. Okay, so let's say we submitted the form and we had an error just right here. Let me show you. Okay, so let's first refresh, add category, and let's say create. So in this case we have error. Let's say we have multiple fields and multiple fields have error. Now let's say I put some data right in here and I just left the second field empty, and I again press again the create button. So what we are going to do, we are going to receive the error once again. Why? Because the second field is empty and the first field has some data. So in this case we want to refresh the errors. Okay, that's it. We are just refreshing the errors so that we can see the new error for each field. And let's say if I messed up with anything, what I meant is, let's say if I put this field empty and type create, the error should be the category name field is required. Now let's say I put a 1, the error should change on next create. The category name must be at least 3 characters. Okay, so in our case this is working perfectly fine, but I'm doing just that for you, that let's say if you have multiple fields, you are still going to see the errors, same errors. Okay, let's say if this field doesn't have any sort of error, but you will be able to see this error once again. Why? Because this error was never removed from this small element. Okay, so this is what I'm doing right here. Whenever we are getting new error, let's say reject status equals to 2, remove the previous error and show me the latest. That's it. Okay guys, let's refresh once again, and this is what it is. Let's say 1. So if you have multiple fields, this will work perfectly fine for you, this method. Okay, just believe me guys that this method was necessary and it is really necessary for you. Okay guys, so the video is basically we took a lot of time. Okay, so the last function is, let's implement that, and that's it for this video. Okay guys, so what we want to do, let's say if we closed our modal just like I did with the help of close or cancel button, what I want to do is, let's say add category modal on hidden BS modal, implement a function, closure function, and let's do this. I'm just going to call this success remove errors message right here, so that whenever we close a modal without doing anything, it is going to remove everything from the modal. Okay, refresh. Let's see, we have an error. I'm just going to close it, open it again, and now it is working perfectly fine. Okay, so I hope you got my point. Close, create, etc. And let's say what type of categories do we have. If we have sports, technology, yeah, we have each and everything. Let's create one more test. 1 2 3, create, and the category is created successfully. Add category again, and form once again is a fresh form. Okay, so let's check the error once again, and that's it. Close it, open it again, that's it. Okay guys, so we successfully implemented our create functionality for categories, and in the next video we are going to implement the fetch categories related field that is from let's say read categories. Okay, so we implemented the create, and in the next video we are going to create the read operation. Okay guys, so you can test this form and functionality related to this and with the help of Ajax, and if you find any sort of error, you can just tell me in the comments and I will look into that issue as well. But in this case we don't have any sort of issue. Okay, so one last thing guys, we just want to remove everything from right here. Why? Because I don't like my code to be dirty, etc. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put each and everything in a separate file. Okay, so let's define a source, and that will be related to, let's say, let's create the source first, public backend, and inside this backend folder I'm going to create a new folder named partials, and let's create a new file, put everything right here. Oops, sorry, my mistake. I need to cut it each and everything from right here once again. Okay, paste it right here, save it, and name would be category.js. That's it. Let's include this category.js, and source would be, once again, now you know how to define a source. Asset backend, let's say backend slash partials, and then slash category.js. Now let's make sure that everything is working perfectly fine. For that we need to test the functionality once again, because we moved everything to a separate file, so we don't have any sort of error related to JavaScript. Add category, testing category 1 2 3. Okay, create, successfully created the category, and let's see the error. That's it. Open it once again, and everything is working perfectly fine. Let's check out the database. Okay, right here everything is working perfectly fine. You can see the slug as well. Okay guys, so that's it from this video. I hope you guys like this functionality and you like the sweet alert. If you guys like this video, if you liked it, please like, subscribe and share. Thank you, take care, and yes, be ready. Okay guys, take care.